Another.
Post Hamilton, I was feeling a little bit of that freedom from that label. People were finally like, oh, right. Yeah, you're the guy from the thing. Okay. So I just wasn't rushing to put somebody else's shoes on. That is my deep desire. That is my intention. I'm good.
I'm just gonna go ahead and create something over here. Coming up on Another Act, I sit down with Broadway star Leslie Odom Jr., and we talk about his very successful transition into the world of film and One Night in Miami, which is Regina King's directorial debut, and he brings to life Sam Cooke. Where were you in your career when the possibility of bringing Sam Cooke to life come?
I definitely wanted to try my hand in film after leaving Hamilton. I wanted to do more movies and learn in that medium. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I hadn't made any terrible missteps. I wasn't where I wanted to be, but it just felt like if we botch this, play Malcolm X, Cassius Clay, Jim Brown, and Sam Cooke, I'll never live that down. So, I was in a little bit over my head with the amount of material and just the size of the opportunity. And I was like, nice things happen. I'm forced to grow when the water is a little too deep. You know what I mean? I'm forced to learn how to swim and be respected.
Was this at least a comfortable space for you? Because One Night in Miami, the play is excellent and did very well as a stage production, and it's very much an actor's piece of work because it's a lot of dialogue. So did that at least feel like a comfortable transition for you from the world of Broadway and stage into the world of film?
Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head. I think looking back, it was the perfect project for me because this film is trying to do the same thing that I'm trying to do. I found the way that I could be effective and useful in the theatrical space. And I'm trying to make the jump into film. And that's what Kent Powers' One Night in Miami is trying to do as well. It found a way to be successful and useful in the theater. And it too is trying to make an impact on screen. And so we kind of were on that journey together, me and the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So how'd you prepare for Sam Cooke?
I was lucky because I had the music, I had, and the way somebody, as a singer, I know that singing voice is like a fingerprint. You crawl inside those recordings and you can learn something about the heart and soul of the man. And I learned about his professionalism and how exacting he must have been to get these perfect recordings when he didn't really have the benefit of the same technology we have now. What was required for him, the technical proficiency is what I'm talking about, that was required for him to get those recordings is something to marvel. So yeah, the music obviously, and then you can't find a Sam Cooke interview that I haven't watched repeatedly. I watched every interview many times and read everything I could get my hands on and built him from
Yeah.
all that's available of him.
Yeah. And if you hadn't completely destroyed your viewer while watching this film, by the time we get to the moment when a change is going to come is performed by you, we're a complete emotional wreck. Like we're just
Good.
done because good, right? Exactly. You're like, I did my job well done. What was it like for you performing that song?
Well, I'm just grateful that the schedule kind of worked out the way that it did because we shot that on my final day in Miami, and I felt like on that day I finally knew what I needed to know. To Sam was never closer to me than he was on that day.
Mm.
So there were questions that I had about the song. Why did he phrase it like that? Oh, that's an interesting. He takes a breath there, but not there. Wow, because all those instincts they are personal to a singer. You give me and Tank and Omarion, you know what I mean? The same song, we're going to approach it completely differently. I hope that you like all three versions, but so trying to understand the psychology of why he made certain decisions on that day, Kelley, it all made sense. It was like it just all became clear. I understood him better than I had on any other day.
Yeah. The last time we talked, it was in the aftermath of George Floyd's murder, and we were, in the midst of the Hamilton press, and we were really talking about the space that art and activism occupy. And then we're talking again about this film that is a period piece, but it actually feels extremely contemporary, considering the same headlines that we're dealing with now. Tell me a little bit about that, from an artist's perspective, because it now is starting to feel that you're making intentional choices with the work that you want to do. That there's a statement that you want us to all listen to and get. Is that about right?
I think so. I think that
Mm,
and when I'm talking to young people, it's why I tell them that their intention matters because um, well, number one, intention matters because it's your mission statement, and it is where you can point to if you ever lose your way, and it also covers the gap of your shortfall, because we're all going to fall short. I knew that for some people I was never going to get close enough to Sam Cooke, but I knew if I came in with the right intention, if my heart was right, maybe they would forgive the places that I fell short. If you can line up your actions behind your intention, the world will meet you there. They know what to send you. They start to learn why to call you. And so, um, you know, my whole career, 15 years in, my whole career kind of started with Hamilton, converged there. It took 15 years for me to get there, but
mm,
that in a lot of ways spoke about all of us. It let the world know, oh, they want to be involved in these kind of pieces. And then as I make this transition to film, do my best, as you said, the same way One Night in Miami is,
yeah.
yes, just been trying to translate that. What is that? What do those kind of pieces look like in this medium?
Mm,
I would like to be a part of things, though, that are additive to my profession, something that is impactful. And sometimes you need the gaps in between those projects to learn and to grow and to live a little life so you can bring that back. But I want to be part of things that are a mark on the timeline, that move the needle forward, that make the table a little longer, make the room a little larger. That is my deep desire. That is my intention. And so I am grateful anytime the world starts to meet me right there.
yeah. Well, they're meeting you right there. Leslie Odom Jr., it is so great to talk to you again. Continued success. I'm excited for people to see this film.
Thanks, Kelley.
Another